Can you believe it? It is currently July 9th, right in the heat of summer, smack dab in the middle of it. Heat wave 2025. It's going down right now. And as we get closer to the sun, as we get closer to the heat, we get closer to NFL kickoff. Only 9 Sundays remain until the NFL season is back. For some of us, though, it's already football season because of training camp, because of Dynasty, because of the news, the rumor mill, rumor innuendo, jobs being played for at training camp, positional battles going down at training camp, and a lot of teams looking at their draft hauls and seeing what could be the future for them, and also seeing themselves in the unemployment line, like your boy Scott Hall, in the words of Vince McMahon. But nonetheless, we're excited to talk about all that, man. It's going down. I'm super pumped. Draft season is upon us. Beside me, as always, the commissioner of the Elite Eight of the On the Money Sports League, none other, and the man in the all black and white On the Money Sports hoodie tonight.
The number one pick in On the Money Sports.
That's right. The number one pick in the On the Money Sports League.
What are you going to do?
Which will be drafting on August 31st, right?
Yep.
August 31st. Yep.
I have a special announcement to make, too.
Right now,
it appears True Legends is going to be on August 31st as well.
That works out. I didn't. Let me hold on.
We're going double duty the day of On the Money. It's going to be a traditional.
But you didn't you do Elite? No, Elite 8 is not that day.
I did it Friday evening.
Okay. All right. True Legends, August 31st. Let me just keep that in mind. I already have the time request off. All right. Cool. Double header. No doubt.
The man said to me yesterday, it was his birthday.
Happy birthday, Nick.
He goes, "What are you doing for your draft?" I'm going to do it that Sunday. He goes, "You want to double up? We'll do mine too." I was like, "We could do it at my house?" He's like, "No, I'm just saying. You feel like doing 2 in a day?" I was like,
"That works." I have no other draft.
I said, "Why not? Let's do it."
I got no other draft that day. It fits in perfectly.
His draft's probably not going to start until like 6.
That's absolutely perfect. Our draft will probably be done like at 2, 3. You know,
sit there, look at the board,
grab a bite to eat. You know,
smile.
Yeah, just kick back. You know, have a little kickback,
like,
relax.
Look who I took number 1, and then you go like this. Are you sure you wanted to do that at number 1?
We have time to go live, but we're so enamored with what's happening on draft day and the board and being together and everything that a lot of times it's like when I was hanging out with my family the past couple of days. It's like I took a couple pictures, but the camera stays in my pocket and I'm kind of just in the moment, like living it, taking the mental pictures. That's probably what's going to happen, but we'll do our best to be able to make it as entertaining as possible. You know, you're going to get a picture of the draft board just like we do each and every single year because we're using last year's draft board to help tell the story of this year's chapter of fantasy football for the 2025 fantasy football season going down. On the Money Sports League draft August 31st. Now, True Legends draft going down on August 31st. The question is for True Legends, will we be getting the spicy 2 quarterback, 2 flex league from last year, or are we going
to get
back
voted out?
In time? Are we going to go back in time to the standard? Are we bringing back kickers? I know Rasul would love that.
Oh yeah,
he hasn't been the same since we eliminated them 4 years ago, and he's always tries. That's the on-running joke of the league is at what point in time is Rasul going to ask for us to bring back the kickers? Looking forward to it, though. Looking forward to it. I'll have 1 draft under my belt, the home league, the league I am currently the champ of. I get that draft in and then go into a night draft in a league where time and time again, no matter how good this roster is and how stacked I feel like it is, it always seems like I kind of come up short when it gets to that second round. I have not been able to make the championship in the True Legends League. And I'm looking to be able to change that this year, to change my luck.
I keep getting eliminated in the first round or I don't make it. It's either or.
Snip, snap, snip, snap.
Snip, snap, snip, snap, snip, snap.
Yeah.
I'm so sick of losing in that damn league. I am sick to my stomach.
Yeah, it's tough sometimes.
Finally got 2 quarterbacks last year, and I was trash. Utter trash.
Yep.
But we'll see what's going on.
I figured that since it's, I feel like on this podcast, we kind of go all over the map during the time of July, but last week we had our discussion about top 5 in fantasy, top 5 first round, top 5 2 quarterbacks. So I have my list off of one of the apps that I use for Dynasty and for fantasy football. And, you've got your rankings right now. Rankings are going crazy. Some seem accurate. Some seem like a little bit of a reach. But remember, it is July. This is where those rankings morph and shift more than ever. So the rankings today may not be what it is in September and October, and performance will change those rankings as well.
Why do you think fantasy football books get updated by the time September hits?
But I feel like it's a good talking point on a slow week of sports to be able to compare some of the names. Where does Patrick Mahomes, a name that has been mentioned on this podcast last couple of weeks, where does he fall in the top 10? And who would we say is above him? Remember, it's the reality perspective of football and the fantasy impact of football. So there's two sides to the conversation. A lot of players who are good for fantasy, it doesn't necessarily translate to the regular season of the NFL. Yeah. You're looking, and it's like, man, this 6-11 team is just awesome for fantasy football. They just do not win football games because a lot of times they're down, they're playing. It's garbage time, and it
sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Just because your quarterback is like a top 5 in actual football doesn't mean he's top 5 in fantasy football. We all know points matter, yardage, touchdowns. When they throw that ill-advised pick, or dare I say that end of game kneel, that can sometimes hurt you.
End of game kneel. That one is a wicked one. That's a wicked one right there, Oscar. That's a tough one. Dastardly, because that counts that's like sack points that you lose.
I've watched guys lose because of that.
Oof.
I have watched guys lose over that in other leagues in the past.
Oh, you having experienced a 0.5 loss this past year, you know what it's like to come so close and yet be so far away.
I'm still hurting about that.
I think it was, who was it? Was it Aaron Rodgers that kneeled and it screwed me up one week? I'm trying to remember. It stood out vividly in my mind because now you have all day of Sunday, right? You have the 1 p.m. slate. You're pumped. Your whole team's out there.
Mm-hmm.
You're happy. And as you go deeper into the slate, depending on how the day's going for you, you're starting to get a little, your 4 o'clock starts. You're looking at them. It's like, damn, how many points can you get me? I'm down 80 points. I need you, and you. And then
all I need is 150-yard bomb.
Yeah, here you go with Aaron Rodgers taking a knee during the end of the 4 p.m. games. Knowing I got no quarterbacks, knowing Sunday Night Football's a wash. I'm not even thinking about Monday because by then I'll be down 90. And then you take a knee. Come on, bro. Can't afford those. Can't afford those. And you know they're coming. And it's crazy. The anticipation that we have for this time of year, just to have that high level of stress each and every single week. Might have to start including Jazz into the home run list. Oh, yeah. I locked him in for one today. He just hit one not too long ago before I came here for the podcast. So shout out to Jazz Chisholm on that one. He's definitely hot right now. Yankees bats are hot. We're scoring. Don't look now, but we could be on the verge of a 3-game winning streak. Oh, only 2.5 out of first in the East, guys. Let's keep it up.
I ain't talking nothing after losing to an inside the park, a walk-off inside the park. Like, yo, you were winning. You allowed 3 runs to score.
Yeah, Schwarber hit the 2-run bomb. You guys were up 3-1. And the crazy thing is that should have been a home run. It just wasn't a home run. And it took the most awkward bounce in the world to where the baseball in center field bounces off the wall, shoots over to left field. There's no human being out there.
None.
So poor Brandon Marsh, of all people, hair wet and everything, long beard, had to run like 3 miles just to get to the ball. But lo and behold, Bailey was already heading to third. The Giants commentary, the dude literally tried to pull a JR, and it failed miserably because he started coughing as Bailey's coming home, and his boy just let him. He left him hanging.
Bailey!
He was trying to do the JR. He didn't drink enough water for it. So you got the guy in the commentary booth choking on his own spit.
He was looking for his big push.
You've got the Giants players going crazy. Romano shaking his head as if he's not the one that threw the ball in the first place. That was a dinger, bro. That was a straight up dinger.
I don't know how that guy's still pitching.
And it was, oh shit, Jazz just hit a second home run. That's why Chris said that. Holy shit. Jazz Chisholm's on fire. Second bomb of the night. Yankees up 6-2 on the Mariners in the Bronx. I'm loving it. Absolutely loving it. We need more of that, guys. The bats are alive. Mike D in the house. The man. Who I shared that. Did you get to look at the charts?
I was looking at some of them.
Very interesting. It's only for the top 20, top 24 guys.
I think looking at these charts, I made pretty good deals.
Yeah, when you look back on things, you say to yourself, "Hey, this aged well."
Especially that Bijan Robinson one.
And that's always a good thing when you look back on some of your deals and the trades that you make, and you say to yourself, "This aged well." Like redraft, it's a 4 or 5 month process. You throw them all back into the pool. Dynasty, it's the building process. It's looking back on 2 to 3 years worth of trades sometimes. We got
spam.
Here we go. They got spam. Remember that weird phone call we got years ago when we were doing calls?
Yeah. That was interesting.
Yeah, that was wild. So if you're just joining us right now, hope you're ready to talk a little bit of fantasy football. Hope you're ready to talk a little bit of baseball and also whatever you feel like talking, because we're here in the heat of July. We've got big episodes coming up in August. August is our yearly tradition and that's actually when we started the podcast, was in August of 2017. So in August, we've made it a tradition to go through division by division. We break down the NFC side and the AFC side each and every single week of August. We give you our winners. We give you our strong losers. We give you our teams who we really don't have any hope for whatsoever. And anytime we completely bash and dismiss a team, they tend to do way better than any of us expect.
The Seahawks a couple years ago.
It happens each and every single year. And then in that final,
what was the other team we bashed not too long ago?
At the end of August, beginning of September, we have our breakdown of every division that we broke down, the playoff picture based on those predictions, as well as our Super Bowl predictions, which we have yet to get right.
Hey, this past year we were talking about the Commanders, and the Commanders did pretty damn good.
Oh, yeah. I planted the flag on the Commanders conversation a while ago. I said this team has a shot to be something. I put the little disclaimer in there saying, maybe they just missed the playoffs. They did not. They went to the NFC title game. I like them again this year. I don't know if I like them to win the division this year, because we got to see. This is the test now, coming in after a successful season, tougher schedule. Super Bowl champion as your next door neighbor inside the division.
You got to be big brother.
A Giants team that's hungry for success, hungry for wins.
That game against Washington beat the Eagles. It was against Pickett and company.
Yep, yes it was. This is true.
So they got to do it again. And there's film now on Jaden Daniels. Teams not have 16 games of film on him to decide how they want to play. Really, 19 games.
Yeah.
If you count the playoffs.
Yeah, correct.
So teams are going to be really, they got a lot more on them. They can scheme up some defenses on them. I have gone on a limb already saying I could see the Commanders taking a step back.
Pre-August prediction for the Commanders. It wouldn't be shocking. I'm interested to see how this Terry McLaurin situation plays out for them.
That is another thing.
And how they go about that, and who that opens the door of opportunity for moving forward. You know what I mean? Because if he goes, there's those who stay. And it's a matter of, okay, like, who takes that spot? Who comes in there and who ends up taking over? Like, well, I'm telling you, something is telling. Like, look out for Minka Parsons. This was like a hot take that I had on last week's pod when we were talking about it. But I feel like that connection between him and Dan Quinn is very real. You know, we just saw it last season. The rise of the Commanders was kind of like the fall of the Dallas Cowboys. It happens when one team rises, the other team falls. Look out for that moving forward.
Well,
The
changed
Washington
the whole
Commanders
defense around, and
situation
they
is
didn't
great.
change the personnel, and so that's why Dallas really got like discombobulated.
People want to go play for Washington.
Zimmer wanted to run his defense instead of just trying to continue to use the defense that was making him successful, and they were terrible.
Yeah, they stunk. That defense was bad. That's a defense that I went out there on a limb and drafted in like 4 spots. Like I was drafting it in 4 different places, and I dropped them all in the first couple weeks because it was like, dude, they were getting run over.
Yeah,
like they couldn't stop.
A lot of people drafted.
They were bleeding.
Didn't Alexi draft him real late and thought he like was a genius, or was that the year prior?
Might have been the year prior when they were still doing something for people in fantasy. This year I could see them. I mean, you can't be any worse than you were last year. I guess we say that a lot in some situations, but I really don't know what Dallas is going to be this year. I don't know where.
Maybe that's what Dallas needs, is no one to have expectations for them so they can surprise everyone.
Maybe.
Offensively, they're going to be a better team.
The biggest surprise you can do is go out there on Thursday night.
They're going to be able to run the football.
Go out there and beat the Birds Thursday night in the home opener.
Oh, if
Philly.
they beat the Eagles opening night,
set the tone.
Sets the whole tone for the whole season.
You know?
And it can also set the tone for the Eagles for the whole season.
Yeah.
It's one of those snip, snap.
Because we saw the amazing year that Saquon Barkley had last year. What adjustments are teams going to make to play the Eagles? That's one question that we haven't asked ourselves just yet. Because are you going to allow another 2,000-yard year for Saquon Barkley, or are we going to, start bringing that pressure up front, load up the trenches, and force Jalen Hurts into more situations where he has to prove that he's a good passer, he's an accurate passer, and just kind of test yourself.
He's very good on the deep bomb. That's one thing I won't take away from Hurts. He could throw a deep bomb. It's accurate.
If we think that things are going to be a little bit tougher this year for the Commanders, if we don't trust the Cowboys,
oh God,
we know the Giants are still going through their growing pains. Like Philly's the favorite to take the East. Before we even get to August and break down the division, you take a look around. I don't know if my mind is going to change much. Last year I pounded the table for Dallas and they fell apart. It was the worst thing I could have done. The worst thing I could have done is just choose them. It destroyed them. Absolutely destroyed them.
It's your fault.
I'll take responsibility for whatever happened out there. You got Dak Prescott coming back though, and a good offense. And
speaking of Prescott, where was he ranked in that list you had for fantasy?
Well, this list is based off of Fantasy Pros, my subscription to Fantasy Pros. Been listening to those guys for years. I am a fan. I like to take in different information and compare it from different places. I listen to Fantasy Football Today and a lot of fantasy footballers, but this is a list of the rankings that I was saying at the top of the show for July. And as of right now, and this is based on, because I have our Kingpins League synced into this. So mind you, our Kingpins League is a 1 quarterback, 2 flex league. And as of right now, Dakota Prescott is the 18th ranked quarterback out of the starting 32. Some of that could be injury. Some of that could be Dak fatigue. I don't really know. I don't understand it. I think it's too low. I think that it's an opportunity in a situation where, spoiler, some of you out there who play sometimes on draft day, you might not be as locked in. I'm telling you right now, in those mid rounds, in those later rounds, try to lock in, look at the board. If you haven't gotten a quarterback yet and you didn't want to pay for a quarterback at the top of the board, you didn't want to pay for a Lamar Jackson or a Josh Allen, Dak Prescott in the 6th, 7th round could be there sitting there staring you in the face, getting passed up by a lot of people because he's not being pulled up on the ADP that is set up for you online. If you're doing your online drafts, if you're doing your research and you got to go up and put your name on the board, then you already know what it is with Dak Prescott. The people that I draft with, they already know what it is with Dak Prescott. I draft with a lot of smart people. I draft with a lot of people who like Dak Prescott. So I don't see him falling down our boards. But when you're out there drafting with the inexperienced, you can take your time. You can pass up on a Josh Allen and get yourself a top wide receiver. You can pass up on a Jalen Hurts and get yourself a top end running back. And then when it comes to that 7th round, 8th round, all of a sudden you see Dak Prescott sitting there. You got your wide receivers already locked in. You got your running backs locked in. You go get Dak Prescott and you get ready to have some fun this year, because I say right now, Dak Prescott, fantasy production-wise, is going to be top 10 easy. Easy.
I'm going to argue with that with the addition of George Pickens.
I think that he will be
CeeDee Lamb.
He will be the quarterback.
Ferguson.
Dak Prescott this year will be the quarterback in the top 10 that will cost you the least when you're on the board drafting. He's not going to cost you a first round pick.
Kind of like getting Baker Mayfield the last couple of years.
He's not going to cost you a second. Baker Mayfield is another name. If anything, Baker Mayfield could end up getting picked up in a lot of spots before Dak. Baker's more popular than Dak Prescott. The Bucks are a sexier team than the Cowboys with everything that they've got going on. And Mbuka, Mike Evans still there. Bucky Irvin, top 5 potential running back. McMillan out there after the year that he had last year. There's options for a guy like Baker Mayfield. So you know that anything attached to Baker Mayfield is going to come back to Baker, and it's just going to be fantasy points. He was ranked number 1 in one of my leagues for most of the year. He had a little bit of a slump. Things got a little murky, but it happens to everybody. You take those good weeks and you cruise with those good weeks and get yourself into the playoffs. Absolutely.
Fantasy playoffs, he was putting up numbers last year.
Ravens versus Giants, Super Bowl. You heard it here first. So the Giants are all of a sudden just going to go to the Super Bowl. They're just going to figure it all out, right? Just overnight. That's what we're doing. Hey, I love it. I'm all for it. We'll pin it just like I pinned the episode in the All the Money Sports Forum, just like I pinned it on my page for everybody to lock in, tune in, and get ready to talk a little bit of foosball, because slowly but surely the NFL is just, it's like the void. It's just taking over everything, and it's just slowly going to encompass everything that we do and discuss.
Let's ride.
Oh, yeah, it's starting, man. Good old Russ. Ah, shit. Seattle just scored 2 runs. But yeah, this is interesting. So you've got, I don't know if you agree with this. You probably, I mean, you don't. I don't necessarily. You've got J.J. McCarthy ahead of Dak Prescott, who that's just the unknown. You know what I mean? That's just putting the unknown in front of somebody who's actually been productive and put up numbers when healthy. You've got Trevor Lawrence ahead of Dak Prescott. Like, a lot of people are hyped on Duval. I get it. I'm just saying, don't be shocked if that offense is a little meh, you know? Brock Purdy ahead of Dak. Okay, now we're talking. You know what I mean? Now we're talking. You got Baker Mayfield, who we already discussed that. Jordan Love. I think I'm taking Dak over Jordan Love. Jordan Love is currently, but this is Dynasty.
Guy.
This is that changes it a little bit too, because this is based on the Dynasty ranking, and then there's the draft ranking. If I pull up the draft ranking right now, Dakota Prescott is still 15th. Not a lot of love for him,
especially with the addition of Pickens.
Right.
This is like having Michael Gallup again, a healthy Michael Gallup.
Not for nothing, folks. Like, I know Cowboys fans might be excited about the running backs that they have, but I don't see nothing special there. So I feel like there's going to be more throwing going on in Dallas, because of the fact that if the running game stalls out, you're going shotgun with Dak Prescott. He's going to go out there. Here we go. And you know what I mean? Where's CeeDee Lamb? Where's Jake Ferguson? Where's George Pickens?
Here we go.
You know, Ferguson's one who I think, with the connection that he has with Dak Prescott, I think Ferguson is going to end up having himself a big year, and is also going to be an example of, you know, I'm not wasting a 1st or 2nd round pick on a Bowers or a McBride, but here's Ferguson in the 7th or 8th round. You know, because some of these guys fall, especially the way we draft 2 quarterback leagues. Like, they're just going to be sitting there. They're going to be sitting there staring at us, and you got to ask yourself, based on how you built your team, okay, like, do I go for this now? Is this a value pick? Am I paying too much? We've become experts in the field of paying too much in the last couple of months with these dynasty trades that have been going down.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so is the question here being, is Dak Prescott rated too low on Fantasy Pros rankings?
Yes. Marbles.
Yes, he's ranked too low. I think Dak Prescott should be in the top 10. I guess they go by since a lot of times you have like 12-man leagues, they do like top 12, but he should be in there too. You know, I get if you want to throw Baker in front of him, that's cool, but Jordan Love,
right off the top of my brain.
I'm sorry.
Daniels, Hurts.
Do you put Mahomes? There's the question. Do you put Patrick Mahomes over Dak Prescott?
No.
Ooh, okay.
I think Dakota has more fantasy value than he does. Pat's had no fantasy value the last 2 years, whether anybody wants to admit it or not. He's had his spurts of games where 1 or 2 games out of the year, but consistently has not been there.
Last year was a little rough.
Me and Matt are doing a dynasty mock right now.
Nice. Yeah, I missed out on them. It was just a busy week for me, so I wasn't able to get in there. I did run one.
Chris, I'm going to have to check up on that. Because sometimes I've noticed some people don't get notifications that we're live.
Let me start searching. Yeah, I got the notification.
My media manager's working on it.
I got the notification from YouTube, and then I started sharing, but I didn't really realize that or notice that. Maybe we just gotta start. Well, we were doing the tagging earlier before.
Yeah, I just don't like to tag everybody because I know not everybody likes that shit.
Right. We tag the regulars. Chris tunes in each and every single week, so we tag Chris.
I think we're just gonna have to tag all the Chris's, and then the Regs can tag other people.
Yeah. I have the episode pinned to the sports page. I have the episode pinned to my page. I started doing that too. Instead of waiting until we're done to pin it, I pin it while we're live, and it helped us out a couple weeks back when we had that shit ton of views, like 15. It's at 15.7K.
Was it because Mike D was here?
Was it the Mike D appearance? We're not totally sure. We're still trying to work that one out. We don't know what happened. That was just a crazy day. Every once in a while, On the Money Sports breaks into cyberspace, and we just get way a shit ton of eyes on the product at one time, and it's always a good feeling. Just the fact that you guys are kicking back with us, tuning in, no matter how many people are tuned in right now, it's a good feeling to be able to talk to you guys each and every week, and to just be able to count down the minutes, hours, seconds until football is back in our lives, man. Maybe our teams have done things that have left us jaded in the past, and we say to ourselves, I'm not going to make a big deal this year. And then here comes August, and you start seeing the hype videos, and you see your team in the pads, and they're hitting up, and they're talking, and you just can't help but just be like, okay, like, I'm buying in. I'm ready. I'm ready for week 1. I cannot wait. We doing a tailgate or something week 1? What's going on? You let me know. So I'll be ready. I'll be chilling too, dog. We don't play till 4:05, so I am going to be
1 o'clock.
Ready to party.
Aaron Rodgers revenge tour.
Jets Steelers at 1. I'll put butts in seats.
Don't touch that dial. On the other station, Nick Foley's going to win that company's championship.
That is going to put butts in seats.
And it did. Because everybody went, click, 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 click.
And it was a great finish, too.
I knew the finish before the show started because I was one of those guys who was on the ProWrestling.net? Yeah. And LordsOfPain.net had talked about how it was a pre-tape Raw.
Oh, shit. So, since we did the real quick, did you want to know the top 10 quarterbacks as of right now?
Yeah.
For Dynasty? So, top 10 quarterbacks for Dynasty. Again,
remember, Dynasty is different than Redraft.
Yeah. Yep.
You're looking at longevity.
I'll do both. I'll run down both and we'll do the comparisons. We've got Josh Allen at number 1, Lamar Jackson, Jaden Daniels, Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts, Pat Mahomes at number 6, Justin Herbert, Bo Nix, Drake May, Caleb Williams. Out of the top 10, CJ Stroud, Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield, Brock Purdy, Dak Prescott, Jared Goff. Again, you have the dynasty aspect to it, but interesting nonetheless. Here's the redraft list.
Wow.
Which is actually not that different.
Patty at number 6, fantasy overall?
The redraft list is almost identical here at the top. You've got Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Jaden Daniels, Jalen Hurts, Joe Burrow, Mahomes. Oh, Baker Mayfield cracks the top 10 here. Bo Nix, Kyler Murray, Justin Fields. No Brock Purdy, no Caleb Williams, no Justin Herbert, no Dak Prescott, no Drake May.
How do you have Pat Mahomes in the top 10 and he hasn't even been a top 10 QB in fantasy?
I think he puts up top 10 numbers this year.
Really?
I think so. I like the wide
receiver.
Rasheed
Rice is coming off of ACL. He's not going to be right. It's just like Brandon Ayuk's not going to be right this year.
I think he has enough to where you've got Rasheed coming back. You also got Hollywood.
I think Kelsey's not even going to be that important either.
You've got Xavier Worthy still, correct? You've got Jalen Royals.
I don't know.
You've got options to go with the football for sure.
I think he's outside the top 10.
I think
he throws another 28, 29 touchdowns and 38, 100 yards of passing. I think the days of Patrick Mahomes throwing 40-plus touchdowns and 4,500 yards might be over.
I'll say give me 36 touchdowns. 36, 37 touchdowns. 4,000. No. Yeah, 3,800 maybe. And a healthy Isaiah Pacheco. I think Pacheco is going to ball out, honestly. Like, nobody's loading the box for Pacheco. There's no real game plan for, covering the Chiefs' offense. So in that sense, I feel as though he's going to be able to just get his little shit off here and there and make some plays. And I don't know. And this is in leagues where I draft with like smarter people. A lot of people are kind of like this guy where they're out on Patrick Mahomes. So Patrick Mahomes could very well end up being one of those people that could fall to, dare I say, the third round. And if he falls to the third round in a 2-quarterback league,
I'll pick him in the third round.
I'll take that because I already got my top guy, and now this guy falls to me. So that right there is like, I know that he is
Josh Allen.
I don't have a shot at Josh Allen in any of these leagues this year, bro. I really don't.
You know who does?
I don't.
I do.
Yeah, I mean, and I figured that's probably where you're going to go with it and all the money. I mean, why wouldn't you? I'm picking ninth, so I'm just waiting for you guys. I'm going to see what you guys do. And then the good thing is I don't have to wait too long for round 2. I can kind of help set the tone for what round 2 is going to be, get my guy, and then
want Jamar Chase?
See what you guys do when it comes back your way.
My guy Chase.
What we saw last year, the number 1 pick went unconventional, didn't get a quarterback. They went McCaffrey. So you could go Chase at 1.
He's talking Bijan, number 1 overall sick picks.
Bijan Robinson?
Yeah.
He might commit to that too because sick picks is 1 quarterback league, 2 flex. So, I mean, he doesn't pick again.
That's my guy. I'm telling you, he's going to have a big year. I said, so you're willing to pick the number 1 overall pick, pass up on a Jamar Chase, pass up on a Justin Jefferson?
It's still July, though. We say a lot of things.
He goes, I don't know if – he goes, we don't know the unknown of who's throwing the ball at Jetta.
Well,
and then he goes, what about Jamar Chase? He's going to – what happens if Burrow gets hurt? I was like, bro, he put numbers up when Burrow wasn't there.
Well, Bijan Robinson is currently ranked the number 1 dynasty running back. We know – he'd be studying from some of the same people that I'd be studying from. So I have some of the information.
The same information you got?
The shit that you
I got.
I put it out in the open because it's all about how you use the information. You could have info, but if you're not setting the right people up on Sundays, it don't matter what the info is. We still all overthink our lineups. We still make the wrong decisions. We still,
I benched Tyreek Hill in the championship week.
You might get a week where Jamar Chase
he was looking bad, and that dude ends up putting up 20 points. I started George Pickens because I thought Pickens was going to shit all over the Chiefs day.
Like there's gonna be a week where I start Derrick Henry and RJ Harvey, and they get me a combined like 18 points. Like it's just it's ugly. You know what I mean? It gets ugly out there. Nonetheless, here we have the list. Dynasty, we've got Bijan Robinson, Jahmyr Gibbs,
And this is
Ashton
Dynasty.
Genty, Saquon Barkley, Devon Achane, Bucky Irving, Jonathan Taylor, Breece Hall, Marion Hampton, James Cook. That is your list of top 10. Not in the top 10, just missing the cut. You've got Kyron Williams, Josh Jacobs, Travion Henderson, Chase Brown, Kenneth Walker. Rounding out your top 15, and then you've got McCaffrey sitting there at 16. Bijan Robinson in sick picks number 1 overall is not something I would do. I could see Alexi's thought process in that, but also to be able to do that and to commit to Bijan Robinson at that level is also making a commitment to the Atlanta Falcons, which I've been down that road before. I've got burned several times by them, and I don't know if I want to hitch my wagon that early in the draft to Atlanta. But there's some of these drafts where I'm drafting in the back end. For example, I'm drafting 9th in On the Money Sports. I'm drafting 8th in Elite 8. There's certain spots where at the 8th spot, at the 9th spot, if I'm sitting there and Bijan Robinson is sitting there too, oh, buddy, that's a win. That's a steal in the first round. Like, I'm happy with that. Top 5 running back right there. First overall, just feels like a different conversation, man. Because like you said, you're passing up on Justin Jefferson. You're passing up on Jamar Chase.
Takes balls to pick that.
Hell, you're passing up on Jahmyr Gibbs to go into the actual running back group. You know what I mean? Like, are you really taking Bijan over Gibbs? I don't know if I can do that. I think I've got to Gibbs Bijan.
Gibbs gives you more. He can give you more in the passing game.
And then we'll look at the draft of the top 10 here. So slightly modified, but still some of the same names. You've got Bijan Robinson, Jahmyr Gibbs, Saquon Barkley, Ashton Genty, Devon Achane, Christian McCaffrey, Derrick Henry, Bucky Irving, Chase Brown, Josh Jacobs. So no Taylor, no Kyron, no Breece, no Kamara, no Walker, no Cook. None of those guys.
Interesting.
It is because I think I'd go Gibbs over Robinson. I feel like in our drafts, Gibbs will be the one that gets picked over Bijan Robinson. I think Jahmyr Gibbs ends up being the number 1 running back off the board in a lot of the drafts that we have together. Saquon Barkley is going to be another one. Bucky Irving, I think, is going to be a super popular name as well. All guys who could very well outproduce Bijan. Again,
when does that new stadium for the Bills open up?
I don't know.
Looks like I'm seeing pictures because they're talking about it.
Is that AI though? Is that real?
No, this is real. They're talking about how Josh Allen averages 7.4 yards an attempt now, and like the way the wind is out there.
Yeah.
The way the new stadium's designed, it's gonna block a lot of the wind off.
Interesting.
So Orchard Park won't be as windy as it used to be. His yards in attempt can even go up higher now.
You could, yeah. You very well could. Who do they have? Baltimore? Yeah, they got Baltimore week 1. Ooh, that's a good one. Baltimore versus Buffalo. That's going to be a fun one to break down when we finally get to that point. Like, just the fact that we're getting past we're going through the dog days of summer right now, and then in about a month and a half, we're going to be actually getting ready to do starts and sits, which is just wild.
Trying to see something.
Got baseball pulled up right now, full slate of action. Had baseball on all day. Shout out to the Sandlot Baseball Association. Currently losing to Mikey 5-6. Got to do something there. That sucks.
Last I checked, I was tied 5-5.
We're got a couple weeks left of our fantasy baseball league. Playoffs are around the corner. It's going down. Great way to be able to keep ourselves distracted until football gets here is just to be able to enjoy some baseball each and every night. Some fantasy baseball lineup setting.
Listen to this.
How that mock looking like, Mike?
Most first downs awarded due to a third down penalty by a team's defense. The number one ranked team was Washington.
Wait, say that again?
They got the most first downs awarded to them because of a third down penalty by the D.
Oh, defense is jumping the snap.
That's that's one a game. That's a free.
That's a great
free first down every game.
That's a great stat, though. That's a great thing to be able to do.
Tennessee got 16 the whole season.
Wow.
They were tied for third or fourth. That's insane.
That's an impressive stat. Just keeping the ball in the kids' hands. How do you feel about their running back situation in Washington? Like, what do you believe in
Brian Robinson?
Yeah, like what are your
I would
thoughts?
like to, but every time I do, it's like, for what?
Like, is he the guy, or he's again perfect example
as
of
quiet
a value
as it is,
pick.
they still have Austin Eckler.
They still have Austin Eckler.
So
They got that Chris Rodriguez. No, Chris Rodriguez isn't there anymore.
I think he's with the Patriots.
They got the guy who I think is going to potentially be a problem. I don't know when, but he's coming. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. That boy's going to be a dog. He's sitting in my taxi squad right now. And sooner or later, it's going to be only a matter of time before Washington unleashes him. The best possible thing would be if Jaden Daniels has a connection with him out of the backfield and you're getting on the field. Some of these guys, you're not going to be able to keep them off the field.
I agree.
I think Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt could potentially be a prime example of one of those types of players for Washington once he gets his opportunity. Probably won't see him week one out there. You'll see Eckler. You'll see Brian Robinson. But, hell, Eckler missed a lot of time last year. B-Rob, he'll miss some time.
Let's see.
The jury's still out on as far as B-Rob and him really being, the lead back out in Washington. I think they're at a point where they're willing to see, what the hot hand is and how far that hot hand will be able to take them.
Let's see. He only had, I don't even know how many games he played last year because I want to put this into context.
Pull up this tight end.
12 games last year. He only had 367 rushing yards, but he only had 77 rushing attempts.
Eckler?
Yep.
I had Eckler in On the Money Sports. Had a couple good weeks. Missed some time. Luckily, JT kind of carried us at the end there.
He only started 6 games.
Yeah, so in a situation like that with Eckler, plenty of room for another running back to get in there and, get some burn, especially in situations where, maybe Washington's down. They know they're down, and you've got that garbage time. You got B-Rob sitting. You see Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt lined up back there with Jaden Daniels. Because one thing I think I know about this football team is Jaden's going to throw that rock. No matter what's going on, he's going to throw the rock. If they're up, he's going to throw it. If they're down, he's going to throw it.
Yes, he is.
So that's a good thing. That's actually a great thing for fantasy football. I don't care.
And he's going to run.
I don't care about paying the price for Jaden Daniels because I like him. He helped me last year. He helped me win a championship last year. And he is going to help a lot of other people out there win more championships, especially when you're looking at it from that 2-quarterback format. If that's your QB1, you're in good shape, bro. You go down to that 7th round and you find Dak Prescott.
Who has Daniels in Dynasty?
Dooley currently has Daniels. I was having a conversation with him earlier. He because we were exploring the potential for a trade, and he said that from someone who shall remain nameless, but I'll let you guess who it is. He received a deal so bad that he's contemplating just not trading with anybody until the regular season starts.
That has to be Matt or Terrell.
You got it.
Oh, the first name?
You got it. On the money. You got it. So we've gotten to a point in this league where some of the trade offers that are being sent are so horrendous and so terrible.
I wonder what
that
RJ's
league mates are.
RJ posted today.
League mates are waiting until the season starts
for a stud wide receiver.
Yeah, he's probably not going to do that.
He doesn't want to give nothing up.
Nobody's responding. He wants. Probably wants Jefferson. I don't know. I mean, Chris has Jefferson and Amon-Ra St. Brown. So you want a stud wide receiver, you got to start at the top.
Oh my God, Terrell's the one that picked up Darren Waller.
You want a stud wide receiver, you got to start at the top. Do you want Chase? Because Matt has him. Do you want Jefferson? That's Chris. St. Brown, also Chris. Yeah. Puka, where the hell's Puka now? With Mike. Mikey's not giving Puka
him up.
So
Terry McLaurin's with Nick. So is Deebo Samuel.
Yeah,
Cortland Sutton.
I like Sutton, but that's another guy that's hard to negotiate with. So I think our league has actually reached a point where we are literally waiting for the in-season trade market because, like, the shop is closed right now. Like, all the deals that could have been done have been done. Mikey made a few towards the back end, one with you, one with his brother, a couple with his brother.
Collusion.
Fleeced his brother, actually. Like, after that
was crazy.
You have the runaround of the people who want you to send them the deal and the ones who can't get a deal done and also not wanting to trade with a certain person, which is kind of where I'm at in the situation. I was like, I don't want to make your team better. If I already deem you a threat, I don't want to make your team better. If your team it poses no threat to me, yeah, we can make a deal. We can make deals all day. But there's certain people where I'm looking at the rankings, I'm looking at how everything's going down, and I gotta
the bloodline, baby.
So
the bloodline. There's nothing murky about the bloodline.
You're currently ranked 5th. Mikey's ranked just ahead of you.
That's because of the Puka deal.
Based on Fantasy Pros. It's Dooley at number 1 with the perfect score of 100. Then you've got me. You've got Alexi. You've got Mikey, you, RJ, Terrell, and barely scratching the surface of the 8th spot right now. Ahead of Netta, the champion, actually, which is wild when you think about it. She is the champion of Kingpins.
Yeah.
You've got Matt ranked number 8, Netta ranked number 9, Chris, Bobby, and Nick rounding out the rest of the league. So if you have any of those picks of those bottom 4 players, you're potentially looking at a top pick in the 2026 rookie draft. So you just got to root for them to fail. But yeah, that was the latest from Dooley, who I don't always get to talk to him. It's always a pleasure when I do speak to him, and today I did, and he basically just gave me the rundown of what's going on, and I said, damn, I can't blame you, bro. the trade offers are the shits, so you're just going to kick back and wait until some of these GMs get a little bit more realistic with their situation.
I'm just trying to be the best GM I can be.
Are we all? Yeah, I was trying to make because he has. I'll be out front. I want Ray Davis. I like Ray Davis this year. I think Ray Davis is going to be a dog this year. I'll go as far as to say I like Ray Davis more than I like Jalen Wright, who I have rostered, and I think is going to have a great year. I like him more than I like Marshawn Lloyd. I think that Ray Davis could potentially be the handcuff for fantasy football going into the 2025 season. And that doesn't mean that I don't think James Cook is going to have a big year. I think he's going to have a great season as long as he's healthy and everything's good. James Cook has potential. Sometimes it's kind of like a little bit of a slow starter. But when James Cook gets rolling, you know what he's capable of. But I think Ray Davis is going to be right there with him. I think he's going to be the bulldozer to complement what James Cook brings to the table. And he's going to add a nice element of that downhill running game for Buffalo that they're going to be able to need for those tough stretches in November, December when it's snowing out there and guys are hitting hard. You're going to see Ray Davis out there making some big plays for that Buffalo team. Potentially the reason why that team ends up taking that division once again, because I'm not a believer in the Dolphins. Sorry, Jets. I don't know what you guys are doing. Patriots, I like what you've got going on. It's just a question of can you not get your heads bashed in every time you play Buffalo? I love Ray Davis for redraft leagues this year and DFS. Me too, bro. Definitely gonna be brainstorming some good DFS slips for Sunday prior to kickoff, because
Breaking
last year
news.
we had some shit with DFS. It was working for us.
Phoenix Suns superstar Devin Booker has agreed to a 2-year, $145 million maximum contract extension with the franchise through the 2029-2030 season.
That is a lot of money.
The highest annual extension salary in NBA history.
Oof. Suns paid the man.
Double down.
They paid that man.
Guess all that trade talks were nonsense, huh?
It was just to get paid. That's why he did it. He saw what they were doing. It's business at the end of the day. You put your balls on the table, basically, is what Booker did in that moment. He knew KD was out of there, and he said to himself, let me leverage my position now that I'm the big dog of the team and, request this trade unless they meet my demands. Get what you can, bro. Get what you can. It's free money out there with Phoenix. You're not going to be good. Might be scrappy. I don't know what the Phoenix Suns are going to be. They got a few picks from us. They got Jalen Green now. They got Dylan Brooks now that they can implement into what they've got going on. You got Booker. The world revolves around Booker out there. He's going to be the guy, and we'll see if that's enough to, get them in. I recall a world where the Suns revolved everything around Booker, and it was them in the play-in. A 30-win basketball team that went into the play-in. They got hot and still missed being in the playoffs.
Damn.
What's going on, Chris? Yeah, they suck. They're still gonna suck. They signed their superstar though. Booker got paid. The Phoenix Suns don't really have a rhyme or a reason. They are no different than any other play-in basketball team. It's just a matter of they caved into
after they got worse.
Demand.
They got worse after the whole KD trade.
Yeah. Yeah, they did. They didn't get better.
They should have kept what they had.
Nothing going on out there. They're
and
done.
just added to it.
They're done.
Added better depth pieces, and they might have been back where they were the prior year.
They couldn't trade themselves into the mess that they got themselves into. They couldn't trade themselves out of the mess they got themselves into, I should say. The deals that they made, the overpay that they did for Kevin Durant, all that shit, they had no choice but to try to get what they could for him now, lock in Devin Booker, get a few picks back, because you're never going to be able to recover. There's no value in that lineup across the board.
The ball's not going to run through KD in Houston.
It will sometimes, but it doesn't have to.
Like,
we have options,
That I hope they don't try to tailor that whole offense around him.
Right, you don't have to. Not at this stage. Now, I think that he's smart enough at this age to understand that. He was watching us last year. Like, he saw what we were doing. You come into the fold.
He didn't give up much. I mean, Jalen Green, yeah, but it wasn't a lot. You still got Sengun.
What did Jalen Green do? He had one good game in the playoffs. What did he do? It wasn't enough to get us past the old Golden State Warriors. We couldn't get past the Warriors, bro. That team's done. I'm done with that Rockets team. I'm ready to move on. We needed to do something.
I'm a big Sengun guy, man.
I love him. I would have been devastated
if he was a part of this deal.
Was a part of this deal. I would have been devastated. I would have said
the rumors early on were he was a part of it.
I was saying there's no way at all that anybody can sit here and say that we won this trade if Sengun is part of the deal and he's going to Phoenix. That would have been exciting for them, because now you have Sengun playing off of Booker with Jalen Green, and now you got something going on. Jalen Green can't be the guy. Booker's the guy. Jalen Green can be the complement to the guy.
I was on Twitter the other day. Matter of fact, let me see if I can pull it up.
They made too many moves. And Green, to me, sorry, but he was never the guy in my eyes. Because at the end of the day, we got Green. We ended up drafting Jabari Smith, who I like better than Jalen Green. I like his game better. We drafted Sengun after that, who I like his game better. We drafted Amen Thompson after that, who I like his game better.
On Monday, VJ Edgecombe was ruled out before tip-off due to a thumb contusion. The comment underneath, bro is now officially a Philadelphia 76er. And he played good that first game, man.
It's rough, bud.
He had a nice debut.
I was watching some of the summer league stuff. I was tuned in.
I mean, if he plays like that during the regular season, then hey, Sixers might be on to something.
Maybe.
They got to get Mr. TikTok back.
It's been a while since I've seen that group together, though, so it's just hard to tell what they're.
They got to get Mr. TikTok back healthy. That kid was lighting it up before he got hurt.
The dancer.
Uh-huh.
He was. He was their leading scorer, wasn't he?
Yep, he was hitting threes all the time.
He was the leading scorer of the team.
Listen, you could dance all you want if you're going to keep scoring like that.
Yeah. At least he was consistent with his game while he was healthy. I really don't know what's going to become of that basketball team. It's all the big man, bro. It's all the health of the big man. Once again, it all revolves around that.
And we don't even know if he's going to play this year.
What that's going to be. If he doesn't, then hang it up. Got nothing to worry about there.
The Sixers are like, that's one of the sources.
Sixers have way too many
The
guards.
Sixers are hoping that he's declared medically retired, like they get the doctors to make him retire.
Well, also,
because the Sixers would be off the hook for his whole salary.
Jokic is not signing an extension with the Denver Nuggets.
Interesting.
That's something interesting to look at. It got wild once the season ended in the NBA. A lot happened.
And
in
the first rumor,
weeks after
he's
the
going to the
finals.
Lakers. Like that's the first thing. Like the Lakers don't have the money, bro.
Why not?
So Laker fans need to stop it.
Can't rule out him going out east, right? Why? He can go anywhere, man. Like there's going to be a big bidding war for a Nikolai Jokic when that time comes.
The same for Giannis.
Yeah, because Giannis isn't thrilled with what's happening in Milwaukee.
I know he's not as young as he was, but he can still do some stuff.
He's still prime years.
Yeah.
Prime years still. You got a couple years before it's like you're really on the tail end of the career. You got more juice than KD does right now, I'd say. Like if you're Giannis, you know what I mean?
I would say he got at least another 3 solid years in him.
Yeah. So
some 3 prime years, like
that's another one to look at. Like, does he end up staying in Milwaukee? That's who I really wanted for Houston. I wanted Giannis. I wanted him to be like, I want out of here, and I wanted us to be like, let's go get him. However, a deal for Giannis probably would have involved a Sengun and Amen Thompson. It would have ripped.
Yeah.
It would have ripped
everything you built.
It would have ripped our identity apart. I feel like trading Jalen Green doesn't rip apart our identity at all. He's not the identity of the Houston Rockets. He's someone who they tried to push to be the face, but he can't run point. He's just a shooter. You know, we got Van Fleet, who is going to be the stabilizer for the group moving forward, and then you've got a bunch of wings.
Have the most juice left of any guys in that era. You're right.
Yeah. The question is he going to spend the rest of that time
in
where
Milwaukee,
he's at, or is he going to take that juice out to LA or something?
They're going to be paying Dame $22 million a year for the next 5 years.
Yeah, he's not even
part of the team. And you turned around and brought. I feel like they overpaid for Miles Turner.
They did.
So that's what you switched out.
That was a big move.
Yeah.
Which kind of shows you the cap space hell that they're sitting in right now. When your big move to complement your superstar, who is a top 10 player in this current league, maybe top 5, you're giving him Miles Turner.
It's like the Lakers finding money.
No offense, Miles. You were great in the playoffs, but, come on.
Like, you got the Lakers who only had like $6-7 million, and they wasted it on DeAndre Ayton. Like, is Ayton going to be there? Like, heart and soul into the game? Or, you going to take some days off?
You are just not just the injury aspect of it with him, but the does he give a shit aspect with him, which makes it even more toxic when you look at
anybody who plays with LeBron's going to put all it in.
Oh yeah, right, because that just fixes everything, right? What have the Lakers done, people? What have they done?
They won a fake championship in 2020.
They had what they got beat in the second round this year, right? They made it out of the first round.
Yeah,
so they did better than I expected them to do. Ayton could be a good ad for them as long as he stays on the court, as long as he wants to be there. Or Ayton could be a total disaster because let's not forget a lot of the big names who end up accompanying LeBron James, some of them just don't know how to play alongside him because it can be very demanding.
What up, Paul?
What's going on, Paul? But for me, DeAndre Ayton, it could be a good thing, but it's not that different from the AD situation. If anything, the AD situation was better for the Lakers because, he gets hurt, but when he's on the court, and he's making shit happen. Ayton, sometimes he's on the court, he ain't making nothing happen. Doesn't matter of can we get him on the court, and then when he's on the court, what is he actually giving to us as a team? Because they didn't have a real presence down low once they got rid of AD. That exposed them. They had that Hayes kid who just you can only play him so much. Hachimura is not a center. He's not meant to be a center. He's a hell of a player, but you got to know how to use a player like that, and you're just disguising your forwards and guards in these lineups and these rotations where Lakers are cooked. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to be nice about it, but to get to the point of things, I'm not hyped about the Ayton move. I don't think that really does much for them as far as how they measure up with some of the big dogs on the West side. Like, I'm not worried about the Lakers as a Rockets fan. OKC ain't worried about the Lakers right now.
The defending champions.
The struggling Nuggets, who are on the verge of a breakup, aren't worried about the Los Angeles Lakers right now.
They're still better than them.
Clippers are a more complete Los Angeles team to me as Will Benson hits a home run for the Cincinnati Reds.
Was that on your parlay?
No, I don't have Benson on my parlay. I have Ellie De La Cruz on my parlay. That's why I looked.
I
saw Reds home run. I was like, oh, let me see who that is. And I saw the white dude running the bases. I was like, all right. you are clearly not.
This is not what I wanted.
You're not Ellie De La Cruz. Maybe he's coming up next though. Maybe he'll be motivated and we'll do back-to-back jacks. Damn, Boston's lighting it up as far as home runs go. Boston right now up 10-2 on the Colorado Rockies as they are hitting bombs over the Green Monster tonight. You got the Red Sox taking on the Rockies. One of the many games going down in the MLB slate here on podcast night as we're getting into a little bit of NBA talk here because of all the moves and transactions that have been going on. It's been a very fun free agency. Think about it. Who really is the big dog outside of – I mean, dare I say it might be us, bro. I mean, like
Here we go.
Last year, the Houston Rockets were the number 2 seed. Yeah, he was a great pickup. Rockets were the number 2 seed last year with Jalen Green. So now with KD, like who is best built to take on the Oklahoma City Thunder is the real question. I mean, I still like them. As long as Joker is with the Nuggets, to me, they're number 2. That's just me, though. So you've got OKC, you got Denver, and then it's got to be either us, Minnesota Timberwolves. I got to give the Timberwolves their flowers because they've become a perennial top contender out west, and they're getting through, into the second round. They're getting to the Western Conference Finals. So it's like the Timberwolves, really for them, it's just getting over the hump of making it out of the West, sort of like OKC's story this past year. OKC couldn't get out. They couldn't get out of the West, no matter what. They finally did it. Next year, maybe it could be Minnesota. Maybe it could be us. Maybe it's Denver again. To me, that's my top 4. As long as Jokic is wearing a Nuggets jersey, the Denver Nuggets are a top 4 team in the West to me, regardless of what the standings say, whatever the case is. And then after that, you've got number 5. You can throw the Clippers in there because the Clippers win a lot of regular season basketball games. There's no doubt about that. But when you really think about it, I can't even make a top 8 right now for the West, which just shows you how open everything really is. You know what I mean? I don't see OKC repeating. I see them getting the throne next year, so it's just a matter of who's going to be ready to actually do it when everything is said and done.
See these scores real quick.
Yep. Let's see here. See what we got going on. I was thinking maybe we can run the NFL futures, but that could also be something fun for us to be able to save for August.
The Blue Jays are in first place.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot of losing,
I don't really don't pay attention to it until like the All-Star break. Because the real teams start to.
Yeah, you kick it into gear. Blue Jays actually just lost today 2-1 to the White Sox, so hopefully that's the beginning of their cliff dive.
The Mariners only down by 3 now.
Yeah, Mariners down 3. It's 9-6 Yankees.
Red Sox bludgeoning the Rockies 10-2.
Smoking them.
Reds bludgeoning the Marlins 7-1. Twins are up on the Cubs 4-2.
Come on, Cubs.
Pirates and Royals 3-3, bottom of the 6.
Got a barn burner there.
Nationals putting it on the Cardinals 7-1.
Yeah, I'm not liking that one.
Guardians 2, Astros 0.
Guardians 2.
And
Astros
earlier
0.
matchups today, the Phillies defeated the Giants 13-0. Brewers beat the Dodgers 3-2. White Sox beat the Blue Jays 2-1, and the Rays beat the Tigers 7-3. While the Mets and Orioles was postponed.
Mets-Orioles postponed. That means double header action. Yep. Yankees need to hang on. Absolutely. OKC is the next Western dynasty. The West is known for having dynasties. Lakers, San Antonio, Golden State. Now it's going to be OKC. They're built for it. They got everything they need.
Everybody's young.
They got the draft picks they need. They haven't spent crazy amounts of money like that.
We're not talking about that right now.
Phillies bounced back tonight after that disaster. They did. Phillies put a whooping on the Giants today. They were pissed after what happened last night. You know, Schwarber went deep. Harper went deep. I don't even think the Giants scored. They were mad as hell after what went down last night because that was just a crazy, crazy finish.
They should have won the game.
I believe in Paul. I don't know
why Thompson keeps putting Romano in there.
Because you got nobody else. You don't have a closer. Phillies don't have a closer, guys. Y'all don't have a bullpen.
I pull scorers out of the rotation and throw them in the bullpen to be the closer.
Good luck. You got Nola on IL right now. It's tough to be able to do stuff like that when your starting rotation isn't complete. But I believe in Sam Presti. I believe in the OKC's ability to draft. I mean, look at their team.
Yeah,
they drafted that. they built that. You know, so right now. You ask me who the final boss is out west? Yeah, it's OKC until somebody knocks them off. I'm giving you all your flowers, man. Yeah, he's just giving the Phillies their flowers. They had a good outing today, 13-0.
I have noticed that Drewski isn't going overboard this year about the Phillies and all their wins.
He can't.
Like he was last year.
He knows he knows. Because you know what's gonna happen. If you guys don't fix this, what happened last night is going to happen to you guys at the end. And it's going to hurt more.
We're talking about picking up Bernard, and like David Bednar is just as trash.
There is a reason Zach Wheeler's out there pitching all 9 innings. You need that. Because the minute your boys...
Sanchez pitched his ass off, comes out the game, and they lose it.
You go into that bullpen, it's over. Luzardo did his thing today after struggling. He was struggling hard. Luzardo was a disaster for the past month, but he picked it up. He pitched well today. It helps when, you're given the run support as a pitcher. When you're going back out there and you've got a 5-0 lead or a 6-0 lead, you're looking for that strike zone. You're not going in the corners. You're like, it makes a big difference compared to, sending your bullpen guy out there when you're down 10-0 already. It's like, 10-0, bases loaded. It's just the situational baseball, I think, is where Thompson struggles with some of the situational things doing late in games. And I just feel like you throw Romano out there in a game 4 of the playoffs, everything on the line. Yeah, it's done. It's done, buddy. It's done. And we're not that far off ourselves because our bullpen is, not that great either. Just got to rely on being able to just put up some runs because if we ain't scoring and our pitching is sus, we won't survive. Right now, the way the Yankees are looking, I don't even know if they're going to be able to make the playoffs the way they've been playing. They're going to need a turnaround because being third place in the AL East that's not the way to go. Like we got a wild card right now, but that don't mean shit to me. We need a championship, bro. We need a championship. So yeah, I was thinking like maybe we work our futures bets into the weeks where we're breaking down those divisions and kind of tie it all together and make it make sense.
I
And
was
then
reading
we
Cleveland's
recap everything at the end of August.
win thing is like 5.5.
5.5.
Take the under.
Yeah, if it's 5.5, I would take the under because they'll mess around and they'll do 5.
I've seen clips of the new season of quarterback
Really?
with their Joe Burrow yelling at Zach Taylor after the Titans game. They won that game. We all know it was the last game of the year. And he's just yelling, "What the fuck, this and that." And then Zach's like, "We did a good job today." No, we didn't. No, we didn't. What game did you see? I'm like, I'm watching the way Burrow's talking to him, and I'm like, bro, like, you're not a good coach.
He's done. He's done.
And then I also heard that you get Kirk Cousins' honest like reaction to the whole Michael Penix draft.
Yeah, that
like
was probably
he's recorded with it.
That was probably awkward, right? When you think about it.
Yeah, so I'm gonna check it out so I can see that part.
Okay.
I think it's Kirk Cousins, Joe Burrow, and Jaden Daniels they follow.
Cousins, Burrow, Daniels.
I'll tell you right now.
Interesting.
Because Kirk Cousins was in the first season.
And what's this on?
Netflix.
Oh, okay. It'll probably take me a while to watch it. I get around the shows eventually. It's just, it definitely takes a bit. Even longer if I don't get it done before the football season starts. Because once the football season starts with fantasy and everything.
All right, I was wrong. The 3 quarterbacks are Burrow, Goff, and Cousins.
Okay. Interesting mix right there. Huh?
Yeah. All 8 episodes were released yesterday.
Okay. I thought it was golf. Dak over under 13.
Yeah, it is golf. I messed up.
Ooh, I think I'll take the under on 13 interceptions for Dak Prescott. But that's a good number for him. I could see 40-12 for Dak this year.
Ooh.
40 touchdown passes, 12 interceptions.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Maybe just under 40. Maybe to be safe, maybe go 38, 39. I don't know, but I can see that in his future. Absolutely. Oh, James Wood hit a home run, but I didn't take him straight up. I parlayed him. Yeah, I parlayed him with Ellie De La Cruz, and now they're going into the 9th. I don't know if Ellie's going to get that, but I felt good about James Wood hitting the home run today. It's just one of those things where sometimes, guys, I know, parlays are fun and all that, but if you really believe in a play enough, you just take that play for what it is, get your money, and get the hell out of there like I would have had I bet James Wood straight up. I had the under as well, but I don't think he makes it through the season. Really? You think that the injury bug affects Dak Prescott? If that's the case, you definitely can hang it up for the Dallas Cowboys. I don't know. I didn't really give that much thought as far as him getting hurt, but that's something that, hey, we bring it up all the time for CMC, right? So it's fair. It's fair to bring it up for every player.
Yeah, I agree.
If he was healthy thing, it was if this, if that. If ifs were fifths, we'd all be drunk,
Yeah.
I think statistically, Dak Prescott is going to have a good year, but I don't think that's going to equal to enough wins for the actual team. That's my pre-prediction of what this Dallas Cowboys team is going to be. If I have to pick 2 teams out of the NFC East to make it, it's going to be the Birds. It's going to be the Commanders.
Damn, I wish I picked
Riley
in fantasy.
Why are you? Did Jazz just hit another home run? Is that why you're saying that?
I'll confirm.
Did that just happen? Who's got Jazz? Little Jimmy has Jazz, doesn't he? No.
Doesn't look like it's still -6.
No, it's minus. But still, I mean, 2 home runs from him, and he's been hitting, man. When Jazz struggles, he struggles. But when he sees the ball, bro, he's hitting bombs. Right now, he's batting 3rd, 4th behind Judge. Good place to be. Like, that boy's hitting, bro. Keep it up, Bombers, because we got Stroman pitching tomorrow, so we're gonna need all the run support we can get. Seriously, bro. They're hitting bombs in the Marlins and Reds game, as Florida Marlins just hit a solo shot. The dingers are flying.
Oh, I should have drafted Cal Riley.
Yeah, me too. 35 dingers.
36.
36 dingers, leading the league. Boy's a menace, bro.
But his RBI totals are shit. Like, for 36 home runs, he has 76 RBIs.
Nobody on base.
Yeah, bro.
They don't.
I remember some people's end-of-season stats were 36 home runs and 115 RBIs.
The Seattle Mariners are 6.5 games out of first place in their division. The Houston Astros are back at the top of that division.
You're an Oral Hershiser
Easily,
saying
bro.
that he thinks they're still cheating after they spanked the Dodgers?
I don't know. I'd like to think not at this point. I'd like to think that they're actually going out there and getting it done and earning their respect. You know, because they did put a beat down on the Dodgers this past weekend. Dodgers just lost again. Dodgers just got swept by the Brewers, bro. Brewers beat them on a walk-off in a hideous game. Hideous. Yes. It was absolutely hideous, bro. And the Brewers swept them. Astros swept them. The Dodgers are a shit show right now. They're on top in their division, but it's not pretty for a lot of baseball teams out there. It's those slumps, man. They happen. They are very, very real, my friend. All right. Kind of a slow night. I don't really think anything else is going on. So it's good to put it. I should have drafted Aaron Judge. This guy. I should have drafted Aaron Judge, bro. Oh. Yeah, man. Next week.
We made a lot of mistakes in our baseball draft.
We're learning. It's safe to say season 2 has been a massive success, though. The growth, the expansion, the competitive nature.
I'm the 7th seed.
6 weeks left.
All year.
You know, the playoff race is definitely heating up in the Sandlot Baseball Association.
I lost to Matt, and it's my fault for starting a pitcher. Before the day started, I could have put him on the bench and kept my freaking my whip. Nope.
I never bench pitchers. I live with the fact that my ERA is going to be horrible, and I just keep throwing pitchers at you. You've noticed playing me. I just keep going. I want to see what you're going to do. If I I don't care if my ERA is 8. Forget about ERA. You won it. You won ERA against me. Now let's see you win the other 11 categories. That's basically been my strategy for this year.
My strikeouts are low because all my pitchers that are hurt are strikeout pitchers.
Ooh. Wait, how many pitchers do you have?
I just lost Reagan's now. They transferred him to 60-day DL.
Yeah, they bumped up a guy. I've been talking to shout out to Chris Jacoby, only Royals fan that I know in the world. We rocked MLB The Show a bit, so we were talking Kansas City. You know what I mean? I always talk Royals with him since he's the Royals fan that I know. But they did bring up another pitcher. Pretty solid pitching staff, man. Once my ERA blows up, I toss out. Yeah. Season 2 definitely. Yeah, man. Now everybody has like a little bit more of a hang of it. Everybody kind of has like a little bit more of a strategy, and I feel like it's gonna make the draft for season 3 even more fun because of the fact that this year it's like you're actually learning. You're actually.
Paul, you got to look at your lineup at all times of the day.
Yeah,
it's hard when you work day shift. It really is.
For me, it just came. To me, I made the league because I said to myself, this will be literally a good summer pastime until football comes back for us. It'll be something for us to be able to do besides Dynasty, to just rock out, have some fun, have something to be able to do, another reason to meet up, have a few drinks, celebrate, you know what I mean? So I'm loving the way it's looking, hoping that everybody returns next year. If not, I should be able to get those spots filled easily, regardless.
Just tell Heather to chill.
She can't, bro.
She's on the waiver wire every day.
She's worse than me with the competitiveness. Like she's on it, bro. And then she's got a good team. She's currently losing to Seth, though. So I'm
Yo.
Team Seth right now. My boy, because
Seth.
Seth is in the playoffs right now. I did remind him of that the other day.
seed.
When we were wishing him a happy birthday, I did remind, like, Seth, you are in the playoffs, bro. Set your lineup. Keep working. Keep chipping away, bro. Because you got this. You know?
Little Jimmy's looking out.
Yeah.
Mikey's looking out.
Yeah, as of
Rick
right now.
is looking out.
Yeah. And Rob, which is surprising. Rob's having a rough year, but I just gave him Stanton. So I dropped Stanton, and he picked him up, and Stanton's been hitting. So maybe that'll help him to get back into the mix.
Yo, I picked up Tyler O'Neill as soon as I seen him come off the 60-day DL.
Good pickup.
I was like, whoop.
Good pickup, yeah. I would have been on that if I was paying attention. Ellie. Damn
You were
it.
probably hungover from the night before. Or you got home late. I remember you said you probably were going to be out until 1:30 from work.
It was brutal this past week. The holiday weekend was insane. Glad that's over.
Good money?
Yeah, it was good money. It was good money. Just crazy. Chaotic. But this is a great time. I had off Sunday, Monday. I'm off today. I'm off tomorrow. Nice little break.
I'll be looking at the top players when they're on the injured list and nobody's picked them up yet. I'll be looking at like their news. When are you coming back? How far off are you?
Yeah, the research, bro.
If it says a week off, I go click, come on down.
Yeah, for someone this is her first year just picking it up, you know what I mean? Like I talked to her about it a little bit last year, but I really wasn't having like in-depth conversations about it like we do now. Like now it's like she's talking strategy, she's dropping information, she's researching matchups, like there's a reason that she's at the top of the league. She's putting in the work, and she has a good team. And then Matt also has a good team. Matt was one of the worst last year. He was at the bottom of the league, and right now he's right there with Heather at the top. They both are 11 games up in our division. So, like, I need Matt to slip up so I can get my damn top spot.
I did my best for y'all. He only beat me by a run.
There you go. But, man, next week we'll be back here. Same time, same place. It's about to be that time for me to get ready to order my Cam Ward jersey because I'm starting to buy in. I like the kid. I'm excited for Titans football. Hell, I'm about to order myself a KD jersey. Go crazy and just be ready. Just be ready for all the new happy surprises coming my way from my teams. We'll see what happens. We'll see if there's any more news that unfolds. It's a slow week in sports, like I said earlier, but still glad that you guys tuned in, kicked it with us for the time that you did. Appreciate that, and if not, just tune into the On the Money sports forum where the conversation never ends. Chris, thank you very much. I'll see you in the group chat, buddy, because I'm gonna be getting ready to cook up some plays for tomorrow's slate with you, with Matt, break everything down, get the research done and ready to go so that we can get some dingers ready for tomorrow because I'm off. I'm excited for that. Should be storming. Be careful out there. Stay safe. Keep your pets safe. Watch out for them bees, man. Because they are trying to build, bro. They are trying to build. That's all I can say.
Until next week, guys. We'll see you then.